cheese, salmon skins. How's everyone doing? It's me, Edwin Salmon. I'm back. That's right. I was away. Where was I? I wasn't anywhere. I couldn't travel. There's a pandemic on. What are you talking about? I don't have a tan. I just got burned. I've been baking a lot of cakes. No, actually, I haven't been baking a lot of cakes. That's a lie. I've been watching celebrities bake cakes badly on the Great Celebrity Bake Off, where celebrities bake cakes that look like other celebrities, and then other celebrities eat those celebrity look-alike cakes baked by celebrities, and then they all have a big orgy high on sugar and cake and egg and flour and chocolate, which also contains sugar. No, I had to take a break because it took a year of me doing a podcast before I got tired of the sound of my own voice. Because normally when I'm talking to people, it's in a room and I'm making jokes and I'm having like a bit of a back and forth. And even on a regular podcast, when I used to do Reviewables, which is a podcast that will probably come back, maybe not with me at the helm. I don't know, I'm going to have a discussion with Hannah Mamalis, who is the co-host, and Andrea Farrell, who's the other co-host, and just see if they want to do it or not. I mean, this is probably a discussion I should have with them, unless they're listening to this podcast right now, in which case, what do you think, guys? Should we carry on with Reviewables? Now, I know some people are big fans of Reviewables. I know Jim from Scotland. Hey, Jim. I know you're a big fan. I'm sorry, dropped the ball on that. But, you know, hey, look, lots of things have been happening. We've all been growing older. I'm growing older still. Wait a minute, I've got a great idea for a song. I hope I don't get too old. I hope I stay young. I hope time works differently for me. Cause we're going through changes in our bodies. And I've been going through changes built my love around you. When time gets colder, children get older. That's why children become you fully grown humans. Oh wait, that's Fleetwood Mac. Riffing on Fleetwood Mac. Bloody hell. I thought I had an original idea there for a second. But of course there are no original ideas. Only original people who have their own spins on certain ideas. That's what I have been working on the last while. I've been writing some scripts, some comedy horror scripts. Now, I know people have, merged the two genres together before, but have they done it in TV? Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV. Although I have watched the Marvel TV shows, because I haven't been talking about those in the previous podcasts, and in my month sabbatical, which is a word people only use on podcasts when they come back after a long sabbatical. Nobody ever uses the word sabbatical in real life. No one even knows what it means. I just use it hoping it means what I think it means. But I did watch all of WandaVision. I think I mentioned WandaVision before, but I hadn't finished it. And then in the interim, which again is a phrase that people only use in podcasts when they're talking about television programs and things that happened in between. Because you wouldn't say in between that. Or actually you would. In between those things, this happened. Like if you have two kids, you wouldn't say, and in the interim, we didn't have a child, but then we did have a second child. But what am I talking about? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision and these big Marvel TV shows. And I realized something afterwards, that I didn't really enjoy them. I mean, they were fine, but I wasn't invested in anything that happened to any characters. I was interested in the things that were happening to the characters, but I didn't really care about the characters themselves. And for me, now this might be a revelation to a lot of you, but for me that's a key factor when it comes to drama of any kind, any narrative drama. I need to care about the characters, and there has to be something at stake. And I think with the Marvel TV shows, it's more about the incidents that are happening rather than the characters that these incidents are happening to. They're kind of broadly painted characters. The Falcon is struggling with, whether he should become the new Captain America and what it means for a black man to be Captain America. And, I thought there was some interesting stuff there. And there was like a black super soldier who was basically jailed for doing the exact same thing that Steve Rogers was lauded for in World War II. In the Korean War, this super soldier who was black freed a bunch of prisoners, and then they put him in prison because they didn't want people to know about the super soldier program that it had come back. It was one of those things where, and there was lots of super people, as in there was a new super serum, and now we have Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell, playing John Walker, who was the new Captain America in this show for a while, and then he ended up becoming, spoiler alert by the way for these shows, he ended up becoming, I just said everything that's happening, and then spoiler alert at the end. It's like someone jumping up just before the credits roll on a movie going, spoiler alert! But yeah, he got the super serum. So it's like Steve Rogers used to be special. Like he was the only superhero who had been given the super serum because he was a good man, inherently a good man, and the serum enhances the positive aspects of a person's character, and good and enhances the negative aspects of that person, which is why Red Skull had a big red skull, because nothing says evil like having a big red skull. But now there's that English actor who she was in Solo, the Han Solo movie, and she's in this. Like, she's in big things, but she doesn't really get much to do. And she was a super soldier, and some of her mates, and John Walker, and also in this Black Widow movie that's coming out, David Harbour is playing the sort of Russian version of a super soldier. So there's like super soldiers out the wazoo. And, and the wazoo is not another fake country or city that is visited upon, although it should be. Because it'd be funny if someone said, oh, we've loads of alien technology up the wazoo. And the wazoo turns out to be a city built on the river Wazoo. So they travel up the wazoo to get to Wazoo. How about you? Are you going to the zoo? This is the kind of improv that makes this podcast Norway's 47th most popular improv podcast. But anyway, getting back to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or spoiler alert, here I come popping up at the credits again. Like Nick Fury at the end of Iron Man, going, spoiler alert, there's going to be a lot more of these. Strap in. You're going to be sick to the wazoo of these bloody movies after a while. But, yeah, so the final episode, episode 6, because there's 6 episodes in this. A lot of people say, oh, it's like a really long movie. It's not. It's a 6-episode series. 6 1-hour episodes, and it's a little bit slow to get going. There's a lot of just men walking around European cities wearing jackets. If you squint your eyes, Falcon and the Winter Soldier could be a Marks and Spencer's summer clothes range ad or something, or a Penny's if you're not into your kind of high-end drapery. they're walking around trying to figure out what's going on, and Anthony Mackie, who plays the Falcon, is struggling because he was, of course, handed the shield, Captain America's shield, at the end of Endgame, but he gave it back because he didn't think he could be a Captain America. He didn't know. So it's about him gearing up to take on the mantle. And at the end of it, and what's special about him is that he's not special, but he's just a dude. He's just a very highly trained dude who can fly around on wings. And he kind of has a combination of wings and a new Captain America suit, which is accurate to the comics, but not very practical when it comes to reality. Because here's the thing that I found about the Captain America suit that Anthony Mackie wears when he takes on Captain America mantle. And he's like, yeah, I'm Captain America now. He doesn't have a helmet. He has a body armor. He has, because it's made by the Wakandans. So I'm assuming the wings are made of vibranium, which is like the toughest metal on Earth. So tough it doesn't even exist. And he's got a helmet, but the very top of his head, where his soft, vulnerable, squishy brain is behind that thin skull, is completely exposed. Like, he's got goggles on so the wind doesn't make his eyes water when he's flying around. That's fair enough. But like I say, he is just a regular dude. Like, even Captain America, he'd taken a super soldier serum, but if you shot him in the head, he'd die. He's not bulletproof. He's just strong and fast, and possibly doesn't age as quickly as everyone else. Well, he was frozen for a time, but he didn't age when he was frozen. I guess the science around freezing and aging and the correlation there is kind of still up in the air, and we really shouldn't be going by comic books to, get the answers to those questions. Those are, those are up to science, not comic books. But yeah, he's completely exposed. His head and brain are completely exposed. And like, it was fine. I think in general, the Marvel movies are fine. Some of them are like, they're all capable. They're all well made, but not all of them are engaging on any kind of emotional level. I do like the character of Captain America. I didn't think I would, and I don't really have much of an effect. I didn't grow up reading Marvel comic books or reading sort of, American comic books. I'm not into sort of I've read some Batman graphic novels. I've read some Superman graphic novels, but I haven't never read an Iron Man. I read some of Civil War, the original Civil War, and it wasn't that great. A little bit silly. But I'm not a huge fan, but I do like I like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I like the Thor Ragnarok was good fun. I liked the Doctor Strange movie, even though I didn't like Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. But I thought the movie was very good and enjoyable. I love the Hulk as a character. I think he's incredible. But I think, in general, I think that Marvel do movies really well and not TV shows. So far, I'm not blown away by their TV show content. Whereas it seems that Star Wars, now, they do really good TV shows. The Mandalorian is great. I like some of the animated stuff, the Star Wars Rebels. I watched the first episode of The Bad Batch, which is the new animated show, executive produced by Dave Filoni, who's part of the Mandalorian producers and writers and showrunners. So it's like Star Wars should just do TV shows from now on, and Marvel should just do movies. But I know Marvel is trying to take over both. It's trying to do TV and it's trying to do movies, and I can't do both. Anyway, guys, look, we're going to take a short little break, and we'll be back after these short messages with some YouTube comments. YouTube comments. So, guys, I have been getting some comments recently, not about my good looks or my wonderful voice that soothes and relaxes the nation, and other nations like Norway, Japan, Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom of Britons. No, I've been getting some comments on a YouTube video that I posted quite a while ago. Now, when did I actually put up this? It was my my Donald Trump video that I made called Big, Strong, Powerful, Beautiful Men, featuring Donnie Trump. It was after he was kicked out of the White House for being a gross man. No, he was voted out the season finale of America. And what an exciting season that was. Ups and downs, twists and turns, pussy grabbings, and the like. But yeah, I put up this video. It was him dancing around, and I made like a little kind of techno track using a free song that I've got from YouTube Studio, and I put some singing, my own singing over it. Singing, he loves a strong man, big, strong, beautiful, powerful man. Look it up on my YouTube channel. And just in the last week, it got a few comments, but then in the last week, just loads of people have been commenting on it. The first comment was someone called Dr. Hunchback Gorilla Girl, PhD Esquire, which is kind of like, you know, if you recall Hunchback Gorilla Girl, that would kind of be funny. Or even Dr. Hunchback, or Dr. Gorilla Girl, PhD, you know, something like that. But it's like you're throwing everything at it there. Dr. Hunchback, Gorilla Girl, PhD Esquire. It's a bit too much. And then someone replied to this. They wrote, "Love a big, beautiful, strong man. Thumbs up. The AOK symbol that apparently is the white power symbol, and an arm flexing a bicep." With the three emojis afterwards. And then Juan Ortega responded just 5 days ago, "Then marry him, ... And I'm like, I think Dr. Hunchback Gorilla Girl PhD Esquire was being kind of funny. I don't think he was being 100% serious there when he was saying love a big, beautiful, strong man. Because, you know, I was doing it in jest. Then someone... Devis Gabo, Devis Gabo, 4 days ago, wrote W, capital W, then small w, small w, small w, dot, president, dot, Donald, dot, Trump. So, I don't know what to make of that. Are you saying he was the president, full stop? President Donald Trump. I don't know. I mean, Nathaniel Dobbs commented saying, "Bahahaha." Thanks for that. That's what I wanted. I just wanted people to laugh. Gus Farnsworth 5 days ago said, "When is Donnie going to come out?" That got 4 likes. Butterfly responded, "When there's a full moon," which got a thumbs up. And I was thinking, full moon, aren't they reasonably regular? Isn't that like a monthly thing? Is there a full moon every month? There is a full moon every month, right? Look, I know this podcast is called Edwin Salmon of Knowledge, but I think it's really called that to just expose how little knowledge I have of the world and things that happen in it. Richard Dillinger responded to when is Donnie going to come out, the question from Gus Farnsworth. And he said, Jared Kushner and Kanye West have to get married first. I'm guessing he means to each other because they are already married. Although Kanye wished he's getting divorced. Poor old Kanye. So Gretchen Schwartz a week ago commented on the Donnie Trump dancing and singing about big, beautiful, powerful men. Like shadows and sun and love, this is a big killer. I don't understand what that comment means. Like shadows and sun and love, this is a big killer. I mean, the sun can kill you can get skin cancer. Love can kill you because it can drive you insane. Shadows, I mean, I've stood in shadows. You know, when it's hot out, stepping in shadow, I cool down. It's not really a big killer. It's actually quite handy to get out of the sun and into the shade. Anyway, so Alfonso Jaurego, I'm not saying your name right, he responded to this message by saying, in prison, they like this kind of idiots. Somebody, bitch. I think he must mean that Donald Trump would be somebody's bitch in prison. Yeah, probably. You know, he's nice and doughy. But, I mean, it's not a very nice thing to say. Emily Wilkie, Emily Wilkie, 2 days ago said, great song and lyrics. Trump is so in love with who he thinks he is. Absolutely true. You got that right, Emily. And then Lorenzo Moon, 34, 3 days ago, he said, this is a weak man! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So challenging Donald's virility there. And there's more comments. Someone GMG said dances like a pansy, and then said, are all Trump-tards gay? I would say probably not. I'd say the majority of them are not gay. I mean, Gus Farnsworth also said, when is Donny going to come out? Probably not. I don't know what he's into, or if he's into men. If he is, I feel sorry for men. Patrick Sweezy, SWEZEY, said, Trump is pure garbage, nothing more. Well, that's pretty clear how you feel about him. Cleo Smith said, and this is all caps, said, so it's shouting, but I won't scream it here, but just so you know, it's all caps. When you go to jail, you can count on 2 of them every night. Which I guess means that jails are overcrowded and they have, you know, like in the movies, when you see it, it's like you and your cellmate. But it appears that there's more than 2 allowed. There's at least 3. Now, Gretchen Schwartz, who said, like shadows and sun and love, this is a big killer. She commented a second time, answering to no one, I think. She said, it is the variety. I kill everyone, my own child, and only because I want it. That's why I kill my soldiers and only give him work in the state. That's why you don't get your officials' pay. Zombie. Again, like shadows and sun and love, this is a big killer, is a more coherent sentence than what she just said there. I have no idea what that means. So anyway, that's all the comments on the Donald Trump video, the most commented video that I have posted, which featured Donald Trump as the only video I've ever done that features Donald Trump. And he's obviously still a figure of controversy and discussion, especially in the YouTube community. Comments are weird, I don't understand them. Why do you leave the comments that are weird? I'm confused and scared by some of these things. So, guys, listen, I have for the last while been busy. I'm back now. I'll have regular podcasts coming out. Now, myself and my good friend Trevor Brown and my good friend Andrea Farrell have been doing Cine Stream Club episodes. if you are a patron of Edwin Salmon of Knowledge, you will get those episodes before they come out, and maybe extended versions of those episodes, depending on how long the episodes are. The next one we're doing is Independence Day. So if you want to watch Independence Day before you listen to us talk about it, then go ahead and do that. But it's a fun podcast, Cine Stream Club, available wherever you get good podcasts. I have been preparing for the birth of my first child. Now, there was something recently in the news. Laura Whitmore, whom Irish people will know as an Irish MTV former gossip journalist, entertainment journalist turned influencer or whatever. I think, did she do radio stuff as well? I think so. Who knows? Anyway, some journalist contacted her agent to ask about a story because they'd heard she had a kid recently, and she'd heard a rumor that the kid was going to be called, Perception or Fluff Buttons or hashtag smiley face or something like that. And we're going to run the story, and would Laura want to comment? And Laura Whitmore, for some reason, took a screenshot of this email that was sent to her agent. Now, not to her, the agent, which is the buffer zone, so she can go, Laura's not interested in this. So, but she screenshot that email and was like, this is disgusting, and a breach of my privacy, and blah, 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 blah. And I just thought it was a little bit, it's one of those things where Laura Whitmore is, has millions of followers on social media and trades off her celebrity and all this kind of stuff. And it's this thing of, the minute someone involves their child, I guess, you don't have to put pictures. I know people who have kids and they deliberately don't put pictures of their kids up online. And I don't think I'll be doing that with my kid. I'll be sending it to friends and whatever, but I'm not going to be like, look at my child. Give me a 7-page spread in VIP magazine where I talk about how I don't want to talk about my child and I want to be a private person. And I almost tweeted, but it would have been too late if I did it the day after. I almost tweeted, just in case anyone gives a shit, my son's name is going to be blank. I'm not going to say it here because we might change our mind when he comes out. No, he doesn't look like a blank. I sound like Terry Wogan there. When he came out, we thought he was a blank, but it turned out he was a blank. I don't know if I told you guys that story about when I was in Edinburgh 2 years ago now at this stage, and I used to get coffee from not from Starbucks or any of those chains, although occasionally I did get coffee from Starbucks if I was too far away from these coffee vendors. It was like a husband and wife team who were lovely and Scottish, and every day I go up and I'd be like, 1 coffee please, a latte would be my usual order. And she'd be like, you sound like someone, who do you sound like? Which is always great when the person who thinks you sound like someone asks you who you sound like. I mean, I know I sound like myself, madam, but I don't know who you think I sound like. And she kept going and she was like, who does he sound like? Jerry, who does he sound like? And she goes, you sound like a children's television presenter from the BBC. And I was just going, right, you think I sound like a secret paedophile? And then eventually she goes, Terry Wogan. Terry Wogan, who was from Limerick. And Terry Wogan, who had a kind of the way he talked like this, kind of low. And then he went in kind of a high sort of register. And he used to present blankety blank, the blankety blank checkbook and pen. And he was a great radio DJ. He was a very good broadcaster, I thought. He just had one of those lovely voices that just kind of like a soothing blanket that covered your ears. So that was a bit of a controversy with Laura Whitmore. And, I don't know her personally. I, walked past her at an electric picnic one time, but that wasn't sufficient contact for me to judge her character at all. I just thought it was a little bit, people have these things, and I know it's kind of like people get very touchy when it comes to their children, and I understand that. Well, I mean, I sort of understand it. Maybe I'll understand it a little bit more in just under a fortnight when my son, redacted, is born. Hopefully he won't be redacted when he's born. So yeah, we've been preparing for that. We've been pumping tires on buggies and packing hospital bags and making sure everything's, in order. It became quite real for us when we were washing just last week, washing all the baby clothes and drying it, putting them on the line. And we have plenty of clothes. And people have been very nice. My good friend Jennifer Zamparelli gave us her old baby changing table, which is nice and robust. And and we got a lovely present from my good friends of the podcast and longtime patrons, Kevin and Leah in Winnipeg in Canada, who sent a beautiful care package with lots of lovely stuff, some nice toiletries for Cara, and some nice video game stuff for me, including a video game, Cyberpunk 2077, which stars my good friend and fellow Dream Gun player and writer of Dream Gun. He's one of the main Dream Gunners, Gavin Dre, who plays the lead role in that video game. Looking forward to getting back on stage with Gavin Dre next May in Vicar Street when Dream Gun does Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And if you want to check out Dream Gun Film Reads, all of the Dream Gun Film Read shows are on Spotify. Check them out. They're a lot of fun. I'd recommend the Lord of the Rings ones. I'm in most of them. A little plug there. I plugged Cinestream Club and I've plugged Dream Gun Film Reads. And I'd recommend both of them, even though I'm in both of them. So, Leah and Kevin sent a lovely it's like a little teething bracelet. It looks like a kind of a 1990s cool guy necklace. And you just hang it around the baby's neck. And it like chews on little silicone things and little wooden things for when he's teething. So that was very nice. And also they sent some maple syrup. So I'm looking up some recipes to see what kind of delicious things I can make with maple syrup. Kevin and Leah, thank you guys so much. You have been just the nicest people. And I can't wait till we eventually go on holidays to Canada and can enjoy your free and legal weed and hospitality. And hopefully I'll get to do some stand-up and we can all hang out at the show. And myself and Cara are busy putting together a little care package for you guys, because you only get what you give. Here we go. We've got a package for you. Irish things and then some nice other things. So yeah, we've a couple of things that we're going to send. Obviously, we wanted to send some Guinness cake, but I don't think you can send perishable goods. I don't know why that is. It's something. 9/11 probably did that. Fucked it all up. But before I go today, guys, I just want to tell you about another exciting development in my life. Like, this past year has been so traumatic in many ways. A lot of my work, as in 100% of my work, ended. I had a tour that was planned that I still haven't rescheduled, although I might start planning some dates, and hopefully maybe towards the end of the summer, maybe September sometime. I might be doing some gigs in and around Ireland, probably Dublin, because I live here and it's convenient for me to do that. And yeah, it's been like an awful year. It's been wonderful and I feel very, very lucky to have met Cara before the pandemic and gotten to a point in a relationship where she was happy for me to move in with her and for us to live together. And after about a week of us living together, like we'd been living together all our lives. And then we got engaged, and now we're just very, very close, weeks away from having a baby. And it's very exciting. And she has been, it's a cliche to say it, and when people say it, I wince, but she has been my rock. And I have been her rock. We've been like two sexy rocks just having a go at each other on the beach. Now, there's an image for your brains. But it's been difficult, but it's been beautiful. And I've, had to, in some ways, grow up, I guess. And having a kid is definitely going to make you grow up, because these are like my last days of being just a man and not a dad. And I don't think I'm going to be any different. One thing I'm not going to do, and Cara agrees with me on this, we're on the same page about a lot of things. I mean, we'd have to be, seeing as we're life partners and soon to be husband and wife. We don't want to talk about our child with other parents. We're kind of like, I think, because we're going to be in it, and obviously the first 6 weeks of people are like, oh, you have to be able to say goodbye to sleep now. You have to, you be awake. You have to concentrate. Oh, I'm like, sorry, you're not making any sense. Oh, I'll say it again then. You'll only be able to, oh, sorry, I'm still not getting it. Oh, and you just get frustrated and walk away. You don't know what people are trying to say to you. But obviously, it's going to be a little bit stressful. I love kids, I love babies, but this is one baby that I'm not going to be able to hand back to its parents because it's me. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm having mad, crazy dreams about all sorts of things. And I mean, I know it's all kind of related to the fact that this little bundle of joy is coming into our lives very, very soon. And one of the things I've been doing to make myself into a kind of a fully functional grown-up, adulting is hard. And I've finally had my first few driving lessons. I've never driven a car. I'm 44 years old, and I only started driving a car 2 weeks ago. I've had my first 2 lessons consisting of 2 hours each, so I've driven for 4 hours. And my instructor, Frank, who is a man with 3 daughters, because we're talking about, so I was saying I've got a son on the way. He was saying, what's the son's name? I said, the son of your business. And then I got his Twitter handle and I sent a really angry tweet at him saying, how dare you ask about my son and his name? And I asked him his daughter's names and he punched me in the face. No, he's a lovely man. He's in his kind of 50s. And he said that his friends called him a sissy cock or a sissy Mickey. He said he had a sissy Mickey because he had girls. He never had a boy. He never had a son. He just had daughters. So his penis is somehow not masculine enough or something like that. It's just such a fucked up, and I said to him, jokingly, but also serious, I was like, so Frank, you be in your sort of early to mid 50s. Are your friends like teenage boys? I mean, it just seems to me to be another example of how the patriarchy is such a prevalent thing in our society. in that if you don't have a boy, men of a certain generation will think less of your penis and call it a sissy penis. And like there's nothing manlier than impregnating a woman. In my book, it should be called a macho cock. Macho cock. I think he's got a macho cock. But anyway, he's my driving instructor. He's a very nice man. And I was under the impression that in your first driving lesson, you actually don't do any driving. You just sit in the cockpit and you go through all the buttons and switches and the fuel dump, the ejector seat, the oil slick. And then you get out of the Aston Martin from James Bond and you get into a little Ford Focus. So I was driving around a little Ford Focus and he has like the pedals on that side, which probably would not be a good feature in every car. But if you're learning and you're a little bit nervous, and I was a little bit nervous leading up to it, but after about 40 minutes, he was like, right, you will switch seats here now when you get in. I showed you, the routine for starting. I've showed you how to change gears and all this kind of stuff. And, dear listeners, dear salmon skins, I found myself surprised at the aspects of driving that I thought would be easy and the aspects of driving that I thought would be hard. And I was surprised. I thought it would be hard for me to sort of judge the width of the car and its relative distance to other cars and, trucks and people and cats and just foreign objects, just getting through gaps and whatnot. But I did that very well. I did it so well that I was driving along. I also noticed how many speed bumps there are in urban areas in Dublin. And there's two types of speed bumps. There's the long, unbroken block, and then there's the three little blocks. And I did that thing where you drive dead center, so the wheels are on either side of the little block, so you don't really kind of feel the bump. And the first one I came to, I drove through it like that. And Frank was very impressed. And he was like, not everyone can do that on their first go. And I said, Frank, would you say I'm a prodigy? And he was like, well, you're a little bit too old now to be a prodigy. Would you say I'm an old prodigy? I wouldn't call you a prodigy at all. Just say prodigy. Say you like the Prodigy, the band. I mean, if I said that now, you'd probably construe that I was calling you a prodigy. No, I just want to hear you say the word prodigy. I'm not going to say it, Ed. So I put my foot down and we started going faster and faster. I was like, oh, I can't remember where the brake is. Maybe if you call me a prodigy, I will. No, that never happened. I only accidentally drove fast once during it, and it was kind of scary. So I was driving, I was changing gears, I was indicating, I was turning, I was reversing, and what I didn't factor to be a difficulty, but turned out that it was stopping. I didn't think that stopping was going to be the difficult thing. I thought going might be difficult, but I didn't realize you put your foot in the clutch and then on the brake, but the brake and the accelerator, or the gas, as they call it in the States, are very sensitive. And I was kind of giving it too much, and we jerked to a stop every time. And he sort of gave out to me a little bit. And then my wheel technique, the sort of 10 and 2, and you don't cross over your arms, because then you'll end up at a point where you've done as much as you can and that's it, and you're kind of locked in. So you have to kind of feed the wheel through your hands and keep your hands in the same spot. And reversing was difficult as well, because I didn't realize that you don't need the accelerator, you just need the clutch and the brake. So I finally learned how to stop and start, and my gear changes are pretty smooth, and that's pretty much it. I've kind of forgotten the rules of the road, because it was like over a year ago. It was before the pandemic. It was like maybe 18 months ago that I did my sit-down test where you have to go through the rules of the road. So I've kind of forgotten a lot of those. I know the basic ones, but yeah, it's kind of, I thought, because, they say if you wait too long to do something and you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I think that only applies to if you're trying to teach a dog how to drive a car. And that in and of itself is extremely difficult. So, I mean, if you can get a dog of any age, young or old, to drive a car, you're doing very well for yourself. But yeah, and like I was saying to Frank, my next lesson was going to be on my birthday. So you have to let me drive 100 miles an hour. And he laughed, and I didn't laugh because I knew he thought I was joking when I was being 100% dead serious. But anyway, I'll keep you updated on my driving techniques. I'll definitely have more new episodes. I might have a few little extra ones here and there, depending on how it goes. I'll have some Cine Stream stuff. If you go to Edwin Salmon of Knowledge on the Patreon, you can avail of all the extra episodes, of all my writings, of all my bloopers and such. And I'm going to leave you guys with a little kind of improv thing. I've been trying to... Basically, I love Reggie Watts. I think Reggie Watts is incredibly gifted improviser, incredibly musical. So I have, since I've started using GarageBand to record my episodes, I have been trying to do little Reggie Watts style improv type things. And I recently acquired a guitar that I need new strings for. So I might do some of the old improv songs that I used to do with my brother Johnny. Hey Johnny. So I'll just throw that in at the end. I want to say happy birthday, Niall Fahey. I want to say hello to Martin Fahey. I want to say hello to Judita. I want to say hello to Jerry. Hello to Anne. My brother Jonathan. My brother Julian. Julian and Sinead. Hi Sinead. Their kids, my nephews and niece. Donica, Killian, Roisin. I love you all. To you, Salmon Skins, listening to this, thanks very much. I hope you're all safe. I hope you're all well. And I'll be talking to you soon. And here we go with the little thing I like to call improv. I didn't actually have a name for it. I'll call it couch bed. Boom. Every time I come around here, baby, you don't want me in your bed. You say I'm too cold. But it's just 'cause I've been out walking. It's December and it's snowing, yeah, baby, cold. Don't you want me in your bed tonight? Don't you want me in your bed, baby? And don't you want me in a bed tonight? Don't you? Why don't you tell me if you don't want me, baby? Sleeping in your bed, I won't be here if you don't want me to be here, baby, baby. I won't be sleeping in your bed, baby. I won't be sleeping in your bed. I leave my jammies on, go sleeping on the couch on. Pull out the couch, pull the couch bed out until I realize I don't have a couch bed, just a couch. Ooh, I wanna sleep on a bed, not a couch bed. Just a bed, not a couch that's a bed, or a bed that's a couch. Just a bed, that's what I want. Just a bed.